Hey, this is Nelson Pereira, the international king of crazy, and the promoter and founder of WrestleFest Portugal. And you are watching CCP Podcasting.
What is happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? Welcome back to the Fireside Chat 2.0. I am Chris Page. This is a show where I guess it's kind of changed to where, challenges are laid down for individuals to come in here and go 60 minutes with me. I started with John Cable, and John challenged several people, one of which is my guest today. You guys may know him as good old JB, Jonathan Barrows. What's happening, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to this because we got a blizzard coming in here. So, Fireside Chat sounds pretty good right now.
I will try to keep you toasty and warm, but I can't guarantee that that's going to be a thing. First of all, since when does it snow in fucking Texas?
Uh, we're mostly getting mist. We're gonna get some. I know Dallas. They're saying 6 to 12 inches. So
That's
they're gonna have fun over
insane.
there.
You got about
Yep.
as bad a ADD weather as fucking Florida.
Oh, we do. We're expecting 80-degree temperatures probably later on this week. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's so crazy. Here, it was legitimately 78 degrees on Monday. It's but peel behind the curtain, it's a Wednesday night. So not even 48 hours later, the high was like 50. Uh, What what is going on? What is going on? It's the end of times. I'm telling you, it's the end of times. Um,
We'll survive it. You know,
I
if you don't like the weather, wait a few days.
I would imagine so. I'm just trying to get through. Yeah, truthfully, it's I've got a busy tail end of the month. Lots of things happening. Moving to a different city, uh, taking a new job, just lots of shit going on. But why we're here today, I got the $1 million question for you. What do you want to talk about?
I thought you were going to say something about everybody has a price. Okay. Uh, you're talking about traveling at the end of the month. I'm going to be doing some traveling at the end of the month, so we could talk about that.
Yeah, where are you going?
We got the Chris Jericho Rock and
Oh
Wrestling Cruise. That's
yeah.
coming up at the end of the month, so I'm going to have fun with that.
Fucking Joe Hendry
They're
gonna be
touting it pretty
there.
big. Yep. Joe Hendry, got of course Chris Jericho. You got a lot of the AEW stars, and you got some old school stars. Juventud Guerrero is going to be there. So
Oh, dude.
those are the ones I'm looking for. I'm looking for the old school guys. Coco Beware was supposed to be there and had to bow out, and I felt bad about that. But he was one I was like, when do you ever get the chance to meet Coco Beware? So
I mean, he
that
better
one
have
bummed
he,
me
he
out. But
better have had Frankie with him, or I'd have been disappointed.
yeah, there's a lot of. I think the Nasty Boys are supposed to be there. Scott Steiner's supposed to be there. Uh, Elijah, I believe. They're gonna have some good people there.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to it.
are you looking forward to walking with him?
Oh, of course.
Walk with
I'm
Elijah?
hoping there's going to be some acoustic play. If you've got Joe Hendry and you've got Elijah, there has to be an acoustic battle. At some point.
Mm.
At least that's the hope.
Well, and if they link up together, it wouldn't be the first time. They've done some independent dates, both as opponents and as teams. And I've heard that it's rather entertaining. I know that a mutual friend of ours uh, is a avid cruise goer with the Jericho Cruise, and I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I found out about this a little too late in the game, and I was a little disappointed and a little upset because I totally, if I would have known that you and him were going, I don't want to mention his name on air in case he doesn't want his name out there. Um, I found out. You guys told me. I went, motherfucker. I'd have totally went. I'd have totally gone.
I mean, there's a guy in the chats looking for someone to take a room. It's only like 1,500.
Yeah. I
You're a little
mean,
busy though.
a little too late in the game. Like I said, decisions have
Yeah.
been made, and I gotta pack up and go, man. Like it's, and I'm
Yeah.
okay with it.
Well, you had your opportunities. If we would have told you about this and you would have arranged for it, and then this opportunity came up, and you would have had to choose between the cruise or your opportunity,
Oh, there'd have been no
you know,
choice. I'd have been
we
like,
helped
there's,
to avoid that.
I'd have been like, there. I've already shelled out funds for this. My start date will be such and such. If that doesn't work for you, don't worry about it. It's that simple.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I have a different mentality when it comes to like employers and employees and shit like that. Like I will be that guy that'll tell you, like, I'm not here because I have to be. I'm here because I want to be. And if you take my want to be away, then I'll just take my ball and go the fuck home. It doesn't matter to me. Like I can find another job tomorrow. But I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I'm just that guy. My mom tells me all the time. She's like, your mouth is what's going to get you in so much trouble. And I said, Mother, if you only knew.
Yeah, but it's worked for you too. It's
This is
sort of a
true.
blessing and a curse.
That's true. That's true, man. What are you looking forward to about the Jericho Cruise? This is your first one, right? Your first inaugural.
Yeah. I
6 on the
mean, the main
beach.
thing I'm looking forward to is the autograph sessions. You know, getting to meet and greet a little bit. So I'm a big fan of those. But I'm
Anyone in
least looking forward to
anyone in
the
particular? I don't
56.
mean to step on you, but anyone in particular like that you're like, I'm definitely gonna
Um,
go meet this guy.
just the old school wrestlers, the ones that you won't get too many opportunities to meet. You know, I'll go see the AEW stars too, but my first goal will be hitting up, the guys who helped make the business.
Pave the way, man.
Guys who
I
I
feel
watched in
you.
WCW or WWF, or I mean, there's new guys that I want to meet too. I believe we have a few that have been on your shows that will be there. So I mean, I think Michael Oku is supposed to be there. So that's one.
Hey, I love me some Oku, man. Oku's the man. I've been a huge fan of his since I first laid eyes on him in the ring. That dude was talented, super talented.
I mean, there's some independent stars who are going to be there. We don't know exactly how many, but hopefully they'll get to wrestle and show off.
It sounds like it's going to
I
be a lot
know.
of fun. Like the whole concept of the Jericho Cruises do sound very interesting. You've got wrestling, you've got concert. Like it's literally, I think it's like a one-stop shop for rock and wrestling. I think there's comedy shows.
And I grew up on that. Rock and wrestling was everything
Uh,
in the 80s.
You're
So,
damn right it was. Cyndi Lauper, WWF at the time. There was no
yeah.
beating it, man. I don't know if I went on the cruise what I would look forward to the most. I think I would be looking forward to everything because it's like kid in candy store. I wonder if there's going to be so much shit that you're not going to be able to do it all.
Oh, I won't be able to. They've already released the schedule, and I was looking through it and thinking, okay, I'm going to have to pick and choose. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on at the same time, a lot of concerts going on at the same time. Stuff's going on till like 1 or 2 in the morning
Oh,
in
that's
some
past
of the
my
schedules.
bedtime. I'll be
It's going to
knocked
be
out.
all night.
I'll be knocked
I'm
out.
going to test myself in ways I've not tested myself in a long time to see if I can stay awake and do everything,
Uh,
or at least as much as I can.
I know we've talked about trying to see what the connections look like out in the sea to see if we could get on a stream or something while you're out there. That'd be fucking great. Just to get a bird's eye view of the shenanigans going on aboard the vessel. I don't think you can call it a boat. I think you got to call it a vessel. Uh,
I'm going to try. I've got the streaming set up. So I've got the package, the Wi-Fi. I've heard people tell me that the Wi-Fi it isn't worth the money, but I'm gonna give it a shot anyway because I got stuff I got to do. So if I can get a stream back and we can do something live or even just recorded, and I can show you some of the stuff going on, I'll do it.
yes, I'm sold. We'll show footage here. We'll come back on Fireside 2.0 and look at the footage and and see what's going on. That'd be great. You've got. I'd be remiss if first of all didn't circle around and thank you again for stepping up and as a general manager for the WGWF and kind of being the front man there for the most part, handling a lot of the day to day stuff and the just the tireless stuff that comes along with it. Both you and Goth are all stars in my book because we wouldn't have a Fed if that wasn't a thing. So I know I've told you privately and I've told you publicly, but I'm gonna give you your flowers again and just say you're stepping up is one thing, and then for me that was difficult because I'm having to trust someone that I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I know, but I don't know, and I think when I was talking to Goth, I was like, when I was telling him kind of the same thing, I was like, it took a couple of months before I was finally like, okay, I can really take a step back because it's in good hands. So, and I know that the Fed appreciates it as well.
Thank you. I think it's definitely been a team effort. We've been jumping back and forth, different people taking the lead on each show, and I think that's really been coming through. And we've got a good writing staff, and so making 2025 look pretty bright as we move forward. E-Fedding is a passion. It is definitely. You're not doing it for any other reason than that you just love it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I guess my mentality is, if I'm not having fun, I'm not going to do it. That's just where it's at, and that's with writing or storylines or doing angles in the Fed with other people. Like it's got to be fun. If it's not fun, then what's the point? If we can't get people to invest, that's a big thing. And speaking of, I know I just pivoted to the WGWF coming from the Jericho Cruise. Man, I got a fucking serious question to ask you regarding WGWF or the E-Fedding in general. What the fuck is J-Mont's deal with Peter Vaughn?
Well, there's a history there between Peter Vaughn and Joe Montori. They've faced off in multiple Feds. Uh, J-Mont did get that victory to get the WGWF World Title over Vaughn when he pinned Jim Cadis, I believe, in a three-way. And then our next encounter, Vaughn won the title back from J-Mont. And I think J-Mont still looks at that as in it ended with him taking the loss. And he's been pretty fired up about it since then. He's been demanding a match with Peter Vaughn, who is currently retired. His wife is dealing with their newborn. So he's been enjoying life on the ranch, staying away from the wrestling business. And I think J-Mont's just going to keep trying until he can find a way to get Vaughn back. But I don't know. Vaughn was my favorite character, and I loved writing for him. And he kind of hit a spot where I haven't been able to write with him. You hit that little bit of a void where you think about where do I want this to go, and I haven't been able to come up with anything for him. So maybe in 2025 I'll find a way to reach out to my mechanic and start retuning him, getting him back into the saddle again.
Well, let me tell you something.
Right now he's retired.
I cannot watch an episode of Scrubs without seeing and thinking about Peter Vaughn. Mission accomplished, because that's all I see is janitor. That's all I see is Vaughn, and I picture, is janitor's doing his thing and popping in with one-liners here and there. All I see that's Vaughn. That's Peter Vaughn right there. Just look no further. There it is. So J-Mont, this, I know if you're watching, if you want to see Peter Vaughn on a daily, head on over to the Peacock, pull up Scrubs, and hit play. You'll see him as long as you want to. I was fond of the Peter Vaughn character. I think that's where our paths first crossed within the game itself. it's hard to believe because we've both been super active over the last 2 decades for our past to first cross there. And I think something I do want to touch on real quick and talk about is because I'm not sure if there are a lot of people who are aware, like, but you ran your own Fed for the longest time before you branched out and just started just role playing on the role play side of the equation. Talk to me a little bit about the early days of your Fed and what made you decide to open it and run it and for as long as it was, because I believe that I'm don't quote me by any means, and you can be the one to correct me, but it was going for a minute.
It ran for a while, the GCWA. Where it all started was ego, because I was in the Fed, an earlier Fed. I can't remember what it was, like the HWA or something like that. And I had become the champion there, and it was running well. And then the guy running it said he couldn't do E-Fedding anymore, and he was leaving, and he just sort of offered it out there. And I said, "Well, I'm the champ. I can't just let this go away." So, ego struck, and I changed it to the GCWA and started running it there. The fun part with Peter Vaughn is that that's where he got his start as a jobber. Like, the whole story with him was that just one day, I think somebody no-showed who I didn't want to take a big loss. And so I had them do this thing with the owner of the GCWA, the Accelerator, and they stormed out of the arena, or they got arrested, or something happened where they weren't able to wrestle. And Ace just turns to Peter Vaughn and says, "Hey, you janitor, you're in." And that was the start of the janitor Peter Vaughn, who later became the mechanic Peter Vaughn and had some big runs in E-Fedding.
Oh yeah,
It all
man.
started with, I just created him out of nowhere, and the Scrubs character, that just seemed perfect for him because he was a jobber character. I didn't want a serious wrestler to be shown there. I wanted a jobber. Wanted someone fun that people could work with. And I think like 3 or 4 times I've had moments where I've put out polls. I've done stuff where I said, who should I change the character pick base to? And it's mostly been unanimous. No, you cannot change Peter Vaughn. He has to be the Scrubs janitor. So he's just remained that way.
He's a staple, man. That's a staple base. It's gotta be. If you were to change that base now, I don't know what I would do. I don't think I could accept it. And you mentioned Vaughn for the run that you went on, because like when I was talking to John, one of the things that he brought up was my run when I went out and just kind of you couldn't keep my name off of somebody's card, you know. And it was like I told John, it's like, dare I say, like I wasn't the first person to branch out. But I do think that I think I've done it the best because I don't think anybody could duplicate that run until fucking Vaughn followed it. Because, like, it was almost like when I winded my run down, and we were working together at that point with CCPE. And as soon as I winded that run down for Paige, it's like Vaughn was right there. three straps, 3 heavyweight titles, and one fail swoop. It was like, again, you couldn't go anywhere or look anywhere on any major show or any major card and not see Vaughn's name at the top. I think that speaks volumes in and of itself as far as like a character is concerned, and the level of writing that comes with it is second to none. Like, I look back at the handful of times that we were able to write against each other, and I don't care what anybody says, I'm 0-2. That's my personal opinion. To be able to, TPW, you looked like you were going back and forth there.
I had the thing. I was like, no, we're 1-1. I was trying to think it through.
I
At least
never
1-1.
I never saw that. Several things were in play there, I'm a firm believer of if you break a rule, man, you gotta abide by it. I think that first piece I went over by couple hundred words or something like that. I got the limit mixed up or confused or something. At the end of the day, it was my fault. It's my error. And I should have been a win for you because, again, I fucking went over the word limit. So that's why I say 0-2. 1-1 technically, but I say 0-2. But it was still some of the best as far as writing against somebody. I mean, I put you up there pretty fucking high. As far as like, if Denzel Porter came to me tomorrow and said, "Hey, I'm doing another DPI. Who do you want?" I'm gonna say Peter Vaughn, or maybe not Peter Vaughn, but a character that you write. I would rather.
You would infuriate J-Mont so much if you if you were able to get Peter Vaughn out of retirement.
I mean, it just seems part of the course. J-Mont's just a fourth-rate Chris Page. So, I mean, it would fit the story. But I say that, I mean that wholeheartedly because I do think a lot of your writing as a role player. You're very instrumental in my Fed, in the WGWF when we opened up. We crowned the first champion, I think, at Wrestle Wars after, I don't know, 7 months of getting stuff going and getting things together. Or was it the West Coast Rumble? Was it the Rumble?
I won the Rumble to get the title, I believe.
Yes, and then you went on to Wrestle
And after
Wars.
that, you said no more Rumbles.
Yeah, and I did one after that, I think, but I'm not doing another
Really?
one. Fuck it. Yeah, I think we did 2. I think we had No, we didn't, because that was like last year, right?
Yeah.
That was last year. What was it? I'll have to go look at the archives. But at the end of the day,
Well, Vaughn had his run in 2023, and then Cholo's run started at the end of 2023 and went into 2024. So, yeah, I think the Rumbles was at the beginning of 2023, and
yeah. Well, you pick up the championship and you were a long-running champion. I think the first, once the belt hits you, the first 9-10 months of, most of 2023 was kind of Vaughn and trying to get somebody who could knock you off the pedestal, and it just seemed very difficult to do and very hard to do. And even when somebody did, it wasn't long before you turned around and pulled it right back. So like you're the first 2-time champion of the new era, the modern era of the Fed, and in a Fed that's not easy to win in. I say that, and I mean that. Like we have so many talented writers. Anybody could win on any given day, but that had to at least for me. It's as a Fed head, it's something that's sweet to look back on because I can be like, yep, that was the guy who kind of was the face of the place, as they say, or the face that runs the place, as AJ Styles would say. It's especially in a Fed that's as competitive as this one. There's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah, and it stayed that way. I mean, if you ask me to pick the era of the modern time, which group would be the strongest at WGWF, I have no idea. I mean, right now we have an amazing amount of talent. There's probably like 8 to 10 people who I would say could immediately become world champion,
Easy
on any given day.
Easy, yeah.
Probably
and even more that are right there, on that cusp of pushing that scene. I think that's one thing that as a Fed, I think that's something that we do really well is build the roster members up to get them to wherever it is that they want to go. So like what I mean by that, if anybody's watching this, is while we've got this flux of main event talent right now, and they're working stories and program, we're also building up the people that are going to come right behind these guys, so that the train keeps moving. And if something happens, somebody decides that they got to go, they want to leave, or they need to take a leave of absence, that, it's an easy replacement. And then we've also got another story for whenever, talent A comes back to the Fed, like will be something ready made for them so they can get back to where they're going. I don't really see a whole lot of Feds doing that, like building the roster versus just slapping together a card.
Yeah. I mean, we do our best on it, trying, from the low carders to the main eventers. We try and boost all of them. We try and make everyone have that moment in any match where, they look like $1,000,000. That's our goal for pretty much every show. We try and do that. We try to help people build their stories, get their characters going. And it's not easy. It's juggling so many people that are, so great. We have so many titles now, but even with them, we're still like, okay, this person needs a title shot, but everybody else is booked. So we got to figure out how to get them into a title challenge in the future. And it's really going well, though. The way WGWF is going, I think we're set up for Wrestle Wars to have one of our biggest cards ever. And hopefully I'll just keep building as we go. And I think it's a real testament to the WGWF and to you that we keep having people come back. Grimoire's Smiles, like from a decade ago?
Yeah.
Comes back.
Yeah.
Starts making major noise. I'm hearing about other people who I've known in the business who are going to be making comebacks. Todrick and Austin. I don't think that's been officially announced either way, but I think you've mentioned it before that they might be coming back now that they're back from out of country.
We've spoken. We've spoken. Of course we have. But like I tell you, like I told them, it's on your time. Don't rush by any means. If you don't feel like you need to come back right this second, if you need to get situated after being out of the country for 15 months, then 14 months, well, then you get situated and, come and see me after, come and talk to me after whenever you're ready. We'll make something happen. I did tell him about Tag Team Turmoil, though. I'm not going to lie. I was like, if you want to, though, there is this thing coming up.
That got Eric back. So
I know, man. Eric, dude, I sent him. You know what? I usually don't do this. I feel obligated at this point. So hold on. Eric and I tend to send each other DMs on Instagram frequently, and I legitimately sent him this. Where's he at? There he is. Legitimately sent him this on Sunday. Can you hear? You can hear it, right?
I can't hear it, but I can see it. I can hear it because I'm watching it. I know that.
It's just that little clip, but all it says is send this to someone you missed today. So I sent him that fucking clip out of nowhere. He'll send me some crazy Warrior promos, and I don't know, still it's a thing. But it's, I miss Eric. I can't wait.
He loves the old school.
What's that?
He loves the old Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. Pretty much that era.
I mean, you've seen Sports Entertainment Express.
Oh, yeah.
So it's there, like I'm so glad for Eric. I know that I don't think he'll care if I talk about this. Taking a job and relocating and getting himself situated and getting himself in a really good spot. Man, I'm so proud of him. And still doing wrestling on the side. He was like, man, I really need to get back on the podcast. And I was like, that's, same thing I'll tell you, the same thing I tell everybody. That's on your time, my man. I'm going to be here. The channel's going to continue to move. You just let me know when you have time, and we'll make something work, and we'll figure it out. But I'm so glad that he came back and is coming back with Tag Team Turmoil with Sex, by the way, who started the first Turmoil and ended it. Like that,
Mm-hmm.
the fuck does that happen? Oh yeah, random draws suck.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna avoid those this time, I think.
Oh, we totally are. I've got a concept. Like I have an overview story for the entire thing. Like there's several in my head. I'm gonna start writing it. Probably my last day at work is Friday, and I'm off for 2 weeks. But I also have to move and get other shit done. But I'm gonna start writing it in this time period. I start work on the day the show comes out. That's on a Sunday, so I start the day after on that Monday, the 27th, I believe. And I've already got in my head a good piece of it. I can't go too far with it because I don't know
We don't.
who's doing what and where somebody's coming in, and like I need to try and balance it out as best I can, and hope that people appreciate the over story of the entire thing. I mean, it's the first time tag titles have headlined a pay-per-view in our Fed, period.
I mean, there's half a dozen teams who are favorites. There's no
easy, and
there's no obvious this one.
as of recording this, fucking January the 8th, guys. We're probably 2 weeks out before this even airs, but we're getting ready to head into the final smash. There could be other teams that are going to be announced, and this thing could push, 10, 12 teams. I think that's the possibility is there, and I know for sure 3 teams as of right now for sure, with a possible 4th that are making their intentions known on the next smash.
Well, I'm going to tell you then your numbers are a little bit low because right now there's 11.
I'm here for it.
So if we're adding 4 to that, we're up to 15.
I'm here for it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I would not want to pick a favorite to compete in this one. I mean, you got to think Wild Bunch is up there as the champs. Toxic, former champs. Sports Entertainment Express, former champs. Malvados held the belts in TPW. There's some pairings going on with Jaymont, with Lilith, Draven, and Goth. I mean, every team out there has a shot, except for Wrath of the Storm. But every other team has a shot.
Wrath of the Storm have a shot. That's a dick move. Unless they just don't show
That
up.
would be a miracle. That would be a complete miracle if Wrath of the Storm wins.
Listen.
And that's too bad. I need to take them somewhere where they can have a run.
Stranger things have happened. Let me talk to you about your Twitch. You've just started streaming here lately. First of all, before we get into your Twitch, actually no, let's talk about your Twitch first, and then we'll go to the next subject in just a second. So, No Game Unturned is the Twitch name. It'll be linked down below, guys. So if you'll do me the solid, if you're watching this video on YouTube, you clearly are only here because you like the content. So if I'm telling you to go and hit the subscribe button on Twitch, please do so. Give me the. I know what you're doing. Obviously, we've talked about it, but give the viewers out here the concept of the channel, what your goal is, and what the fuck possessed you to start streaming.
Well, I've had No Game Unturned kind of in my head for many months. It was basically the concept of there's all these games that you can get on Xbox Game Pass, and you have the setup. There's hundreds and hundreds of games that are available, and people are playing, the top 5. And I said to myself, you know what? Is there anybody out there who's playing just every single Game Pass game, trying to, list them all out and see, their order, see which ones are the best ones, find those hidden gems? And I decided, I might as well try it. Might as well set a goal for myself. Finally get that streaming goal going where just sort of play different games off of Game Pass, every week and build them up. I think I'm in 35 to 40 range, somewhere in there that I've played so far. So that's just like drop in the bucket of how many games there are. But yeah, I'm pretty set throughout 2025. No matter what happens else with the channel, whether it gets a affiliation and all that stuff or not, I'm just going to keep pushing forward and adding videos, playing, maybe 30 minutes, because I do some where I call it a fatal 4-way. You have like 4 games that are leaving at either the 15th or the 30th of the month. And I do a fatal 4-way where I play 30 minutes of each. Mm-hmm. And, just to see how the game is. I found some in that where I'm like, oh, I love this game. Maybe I need to buy this game. And I've bought a couple that I've found playing them for a short time, saying, hey, this is a good game. And it's not that expensive. Let me just go ahead and pick this one up. And then other stuff has just been, hitting the new games that came out. I played Indiana Jones. I played a couple of the up-and-comers that have launched out. I've been doing a complete playthrough of Ni no Kuni, which is a great role-playing game, an RPG from Studio Ghibli. So if you like their artwork, I mean, it's a whole game with their artwork doing it. So that's an awesome game that I'm going to keep playing, because I think I'm like 10 hours in or something now, and I'm not even close on this game. I got like 90 hours to go, at least, to finish this game.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to
enjoy every minute. It's a big game.
What's been your... You say you've only gone through like 30 or 40 of these games. What's been your favorite one you've come across yet? Or maybe which one surprised you the most?
I really liked Figment. I've played that one just recently. I didn't know much about it. I thought it was going to be more of a thought-provoking game, and as soon as the lead character, I think he said something to one of his friends like, "Oh, hey, turtle tits," or something like that. And I was like, what? Not the game I was expecting. And then it was sort of like Inside Out, that kind of concept. You're inside the brain.
Yeah.
But you're going through it and you're hearing all this crazy stuff happening, and he's chasing a nightmare. And I was like, okay, I like this one. This one is now higher up on my list. I played Carry On, which is a reverse horror game where you are the evil mutated blob monster that goes around eating people.
Saw you playing that one.
So,
okay,
that was a fun one. There've been some really good ones, some good puzzle ones that I've played. Escape Academy, that was a good one. And I have a list. I don't have it up right now, but I do have a list. I'm keeping track of my top favorites. Alice, The Madness Returns, that's a good one. If you like Alice in Wonderland, that kind of storyline, it's a much darker take on the Alice one. Or darker as in not the Disney type one. It's closer to the book.
Do you know, I in high school, like in 9th grade, we had to write an end of the year term paper. It's our big assignment, right? My paper was on Alice in Wonderland, A Fantastic Drug Trip. And I went through and pointed out every instance in Alice in Wonderland that was a drug trip. From the caterpillar puffing on the hookah to the big and small bites to everything. Like, it was great. I made an 80 on that, actually, now that I think about it. It's so wild, some of the shit that it just comes to you when you're just bullshitting. Speaking of bullshitting, I don't mean to backtrack, but you were talking about Eric earlier, and I don't know why I didn't point this out earlier. Eric actually bought me this shirt.
Ah, Yes, a great wrestler.
It's a terrible wrestler. It's fucking spaghetti sauce, bro.
I mean, I've got one of my favorites on, so very
Oh, dude,
glorious.
yeah. That's Bobby Roode. Damn right, absolutely. I know. I mean, to take away from the Twitch stuff because I do want to get back there because you just started that not too long ago, and I have been very thankful to have you on several of our streams over on the podcasting to the point to where I think I got to make you an honorary host at this point. So I got to redo the opening graphic and the opening videos or closing videos because I think that's the one that's got our pictures on it. Or no, the opening does too. The opening video to every episode of every show, throw a different talent intro video, and then behind that is the actual opening video, and everybody's faces on it. So you'll have to send me some pictures so I can
Need to
crop
do
you
that.
and make that happen, make you an honorary host. But I've been able to sit down and been fortunate enough to sit down with you to watch a lot of progress and
Progress.
and you've joined me for North. I think did you join me for North? For North
I
Wrestling?
don't know about. I know Emerge. I think we
Yeah,
watched
well, we
Emerge
watched
wrestle.
Emerge together. Which, side note, I'm talking to Sam Beal on Tuesday. Yeah, man, it's funny. We were talking a little bit before we came on the air. It's just interesting how wrestling brings people together if you let it bring people together, and that's exactly what's happened here. And I couldn't be happier for it. I was ecstatic when we were able to set this up, and a large part outside of just wanting to pick your brain. I know that our buddy Max is going to have a come apart when he sees this because it is literally because and I say this because he cashed in his channel points and said, I want to see more of him. So that is nothing more than a testament to you and what we saw that day. And literally, touching the audience to want to see more. So again, the thanks is to you for coming on because without what you guys do on a regular, A, we don't have anything to watch, and then and B, where's the fun in that? So it's I'm just stoked to have you.
First off, I would definitely want to say thank you to Max. It's pretty awesome that he cashed in his hard earned points to make even this happen, and then also that spotlight show. I mean, I'll never that's one of the cooler moments in my career alone was when I stumbled upon you guys on social media talking about doing a spotlight show for me. I remember I was literally at a rep on the road. And I was like, looked at my wife and I was like, I didn't know anything about this. Like, did somebody reach out to me or anything like that? No, you guys just kind of took your own time and watched some of my matches and spotlighted me in my career, which is still just it's super cool, super surreal for me, and an awesome thing. So, thank you.
Like that's happening
Nice.
Tuesday night. We'll be sitting down with Sam. I sent Max a DM, and I was like, just so you know, I sent him a screenshot of the DM that was said where we set it up, and I was like, it's all because you cashed in channel points. Who would have thought, like for real, a year ago, that just sitting around and watching independent wrestling would lead to a lot of the things that it has led to over really the last year and a half. And when I tell you 2025 is loaded, it's loaded. There are things going on that I haven't even talked about yet. There are various possibilities with Beyond the Bell and getting a bigger platform and maybe some possible advertisers, and some sponsorships and some things happening that I'd have never thought that just starting and pivoting a channel to just watching wrestling matches would lead to where it's led, but fucking here we are.
Yeah. I mean, it's exploded. It is definitely exploded, and I'm looking forward to where it's going to go in the future. I mean, I'm lucky I've gotten to do some of the videos with you. We did the whole Saturday night's main event. We watched several of those shows,
Which we got to get
and
back to. We need to figure out when we can do that. My time is going to be opening up a lot because I'm no longer going to be on call. I've been on call for the last 4 fucking months, so I no longer have to deal with that anymore. So I will have free time to be able to sit down and watch some more. We need to go through that. We need to make that happen. That's where it's kind of where it started. We were fucking with Sean Hart. Poor Sean. What a terrible childhood to not be able to see any of Saturday night's main event and not know what it was. What is this?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a tragedy.
Call yourself a fan.
But at the same time, there were several movies that we brought up that he said he hadn't seen those either. So he had a very isolated run.
Well, he's just a youngin'. That's all it is. He's a youngin'. He's a youngin'.
Being a young guy.
He's a cool cat, but he's a youngin'. I enjoy that. I enjoy watching some of the old stuff. Some of it I forgot about. Like, just totally forgot about. Didn't even realize it was a thing. Like, I couldn't have told you that Roddy Piper had a feud with Uncle Elmer. And brought in Jesse Ventura to tag with him and Cowboy Ace Orton. I would have never been able to tell you that. We have relived the infamous DDT on the concrete floor with Steamboat and Jake Roberts. There's a lot, man. There's a lot. And that's something else. Like, just think about the possibilities of many different things. So, and I say that when it comes to like what we're doing, the possibility of being pulled into a bigger operation exists. And if I would have gave up on this when everyone said I was stupid for doing it, I would not only would I not have a successful channel, but I wouldn't be able to do this with friends. Like, we're just watching fucking wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, that's all we're doing. We're not doing anything special. We're watching wrestling and giving our take on it. I can't think of a better way to spend some time.
And getting to see people that you wouldn't normally think of. And, I've become fans of several wrestlers watching your cast and being part of some of them. And just being like, wow, this guy's amazing. Oh, this lady can really do it. Dominating that ring. I didn't know about Rio, for one thing.
She's a beast. That's the fucking beautiful thing about it. And not having a plan. Like, I don't have a plan for what we're doing show-wise until, like, literally, like, the week of. And I'll sit down and I'll be like, all right, let's look at this, let's look at this, let's look at this, let's look at this. But truthfully, a lot of it just comes from typing in YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on YouTube so much, like, it starts saying, hey, you should watch this. It'd be a different company in a different part of the world, and it's a 2-hour show. And I'm like, well, there we go. We're going to watch this. And it does expose you to new people, to people that you wouldn't even know existed. And it's like, then you come across that hidden gem that's in those people that you never thought that you would know existed. And you're like, damn, this is something, right? And then you start watching that guy. And that guy, pull videos, has got 5 or 6 matches. Then you're going to come across somebody else within that process. And you're like, damn, I need to see more of this guy. And it just starts rolling and going and going. Like, I mean, tomorrow, when this airs, it's already happened. You've missed the boat. We've got Nelson Pereira and Lobo coming in live for tomorrow night's show to look at some more of the Portuguese stuff as they head into another WrestleFest this weekend. We got standing offers to go to fucking Portugal for a WrestleFest at any point in time. I mean, they're not paying for it. We'd have to pay for the flights and all that jazz, but they want us there. They want us to come. You know,
Awesome.
Who would have thought? Like, I have a feeling that there's some things that are about to happen with Progress. I feel like there's some things that are about to happen with North Wrestling. I feel like there's some things that are about to happen with some stuff here in the States. I mean, we're already on for a sponsorship for Change for Wrestling, too, in Georgia, in Atlanta. Like, it's our first sponsorship deal. It's great. We're going to be
just exploded.
We'll see. You know, I couldn't do it without you guys, though. Again, it's just one of those things. Like, I think that it would be boring if it was just me sitting here and just talking about what I'm watching on television. You know, you gotta have good people to play off of and to bounce off of.
Yeah, I need that in my Twitch.
What's that?
I'm still trying to find play.
I missed that.
I'm trying to find people to do team ups. I gotta figure out. I gotta get a new computer. That's my main thing, so that I can have a capture card and then I can, do stuff outside of Xbox on it. So.
Yeah, because I don't have an Xbox. Like, I've got actually, I think the better half has one. What kind of Xbox do you have?
It's a Xbox Series S. So.
I feel like he has an Xbox. I just don't know what kind it is. What? I'll text him.
A lot of the games are compatible with different systems. Unless we're going back to the original Xbox, and then probably not.
Oh, that would be like 3 days older than dirt.
Yeah.
Let's see if he answers back. Tell me what kind of Xbox he has. Because, I mean, do you have to be like... This may sound like a stupid question, but I'm not an Xbox guy. I've always been a PlayStation guy. If the Xboxes are not the same, like you said yours is a whatever, what if his is like a different brand of Xbox, but Series
if
X,
it's not too,
he has a
it
series,
should be.
He has a Series X.
Oh, he has the Series S or X.
Series X, yeah. Is that what you got?
Yeah, X is the better one. I wish I could have gotten that one, but Series S was the only one I could get because Series X can play the discs. Mine just is online.
Ah, okay.
They're the same, much other than that. So
if we were to, like, I don't know, give screen names and shit, we'd be able to play games together. I guess is my question.
Yep. Yeah,
Cool.
We should be able to.
Cool. We'll figure that out. Where do you see the platform going? Like your platform? You know, what do you have any real ambitions with it, or is it just one of these things that's a fuck around and kind of see what happens? Because truthfully, if it's the latter, that's I would say go for it all in, because that's what we do on ours, and it seemed to be pretty. It seems to move.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I have any major aspirations. It's just I want to see it start to grow. I want to start getting some more followers, but I'm not out there begging people for them because I'm just out there to play. I'm enjoying. I made the challenge to myself, and I'm just inviting people to come along with me on it on the Game Pass one. So, I would like to start getting groups together and playing some of the multiplayer games, and because I think that'll be more fun. Having a big group together. We've had fun with WWE 2K24 playing with 3 or 4 people. So we've had fun with that.
Fucking Paul Heyman, prick. I think you toppled him. Have you toppled Heyman in our game?
I think we're ahead of him, fan wise, but he's still fighting.
I don't know. One of the games I'm losing, and I can't seem to pull the nose up. It's the game me, you, and Goth, or it was me, you, and John to begin with, but Goth has now taken over. And not only has he taken over, like he's come in and kicked us in the dick and left us just down.
Yeah, somehow he took Cable's roster and really made it exceptional. He's exploded.
Yeah,
with that
we'll
one,
see how
too.
it works after I stole his top star. Let's see how that plays out.
You need to get that.
What else do you want to talk about? You got anything you want to plug? Anything else you want to discuss? Anything else on your mind?
What have we not talked about? I mean, e-fedding as a whole. I mean, we've both been touring around the e-fed universe before, and now I think we're both kind of settled in, not doing as much. Do you see it ever getting back to the heights it was, where every single place was having a super show and
No.
doing, bringing in massive groups?
No. I don't. I think that we experimented, and I mean, again, I'm not on E-Fed Twitter anymore. Like I haven't been for I don't know, probably over a year. So I don't know what that looks like or what that landscape looks like. I don't care, but I do think that people tried, and I think that certain people within the hobby itself looked at that as, and in their own way, tried to gatekeep how the game was supposed to be played. And at the end of the day, like, I've said it to John on the last show. I'm not your fucking parent. You should know what's right and what's wrong. And if I have to tell you that something is wrong, or you're out of line, or you've crossed the line, then I probably don't need you on my roster. Like, it's not complicated, and I think the biggest piece of it all is people feel like that their opinion is needed when it's not asked for. And I don't think that we'll get past that. I don't see it. I mean, not in the E-Fed world, because somebody has to be right and somebody has to be wrong. People can't just agree to disagree and move the fuck on.
Moments like that.
I've looked around. Like I don't travel around often. Like maybe every 4 months, maybe I may go to a couple of different Fed sites to look at cards, like current cards or past cards. I don't look at results, but I want to see how many matches you got on your show, because that's going to tell me how healthy your roster is. That's going to tell me everything I need to know. I don't need to see who's putting in segments. I need to see who you're booking, because who you're booking is who's carrying your Fed. And I do see a lot of low numbers, and that's kind of disheartening, because at the end of the day, I think there's a place in e-fedding for everybody. Who am I to tell somebody that they can't write somewhere? Who am I to tell somebody that you can't talk to this person, or else I'm not talking to you? Like, come on, what are we, 12?
Yeah, I mean, I know right now, I think the card we have out right now, which will have already aired this next Monday, but I think it has 12 matches, like 6 dark matches and 6 main matches, and that still left some people off. So that's, we've got the crowd here, and I know there's a couple other feds out there that have some big numbers, and I kind of hope that maybe at some point we'll have a little bit of a rebirth where like 3 or 4 feds get opened up and start rolling along. I keep asking for TPW to come back. That one hasn't come back yet.
Well, that's just it. Like, how many people can you trust to really run a Fed now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're some of the bigger issues back when there was that boom is, You would have feds open and they were closed within a month or closed within 2 months because the people that were opening the feds didn't really understand what it took to run a fed. I mean, hell, the only reason I started the WGWF is because I was tired of people telling people how to play the fucking game. That's the reason I opened it. I kept the last thing y'all want me to do is to reopen my fed. Because there's a reason why I kept it running for a decade before I closed it. Like, nonstop. Every fucking week. Every Monday night for 10 plus years. Like, there's a reason why that happened. There's a reason why the roster was always healthy. There was a reason, and it has nothing to do with me. And it has everything to do with the quality of shows that we've always put out within the Fed. It's nothing to do with me at all. I just happen to be the guy that you can fucking try and scream at if you want to, and I'm just going to look at you and say next. You know, like I don't have a dog in the race outside of my character, and my character's a storyline character right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm going to tell you who I think wins and who I think loses. You don't have to like it. But this is just how I viewed it, and you know what I mean? Like, I handle people like that, and I talk to people like that. You know, people can see through fake. I say that all the time. I say that on the shows, even to talent that we're talking to. Like, people can see through fucking fake. So why be it? Just be yourself. There's no reason to have to mask. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. I can't change that. If you're a nice guy, man, you're a nice guy. And I can't change that either. I think with the hobby in general, maybe there's some hope left out there if people really want to collaborate. And you know, I've had good and I've had bad experiences with it. I mean, you're well aware. I was. How many times have they tried to cancel me in E-Fedding? like 5? I don't know. I lost count. And a lot of it was unwarranted. And a lot of it was just, you know, bullshit games people were trying to play. But that's why I opened the Fed. Because I was tired of those people trying to monopolize a hobby that doesn't matter. You know, the championships that people win, I hate to give you a spoiler. They're not real. It's not tangible. You know what I mean? If people would have fun, then they would have fun with it. That's my rant.
I mean, I know people do take things too seriously. Losses can hurt. I've had moments where losses have really stung me. You know, it takes you a little bit to get over them. And you have to remind yourself it's a game. It's just for fun. Don't.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I used to be that competitive fucker too. And it hasn't been until 2022, 2023. That was when I was just kind of stopped. I was like, here's what I get off on. Did I hook the reader? Did the story, whatever story I'm telling with whoever I'm working with, did we entertain whoever was reading it, whether it was one person or 50 people? Were they entertained by it? Did we draw them in? Because I think like a worker, even with my writing and even with writing at the Fed, I'm thinking like I'm still in the ring. Like, it's got to be believable. Was it believable? Did you know, or was it not? Like, did I not? So what do I need to work on? That's how I determine the successes now. Look at the John story. We've had one match in 12 years. And we had it not too long ago. And we did the firing angle. And we did before we did that, we did the stuff on the podcast that, nobody knew if it was real or if it was a work or if it was what. Like, that's the win. I told John, I was like, bro, when I have people that are texting my direct line from the game, making sure that we are okay, we've done something right.
Yeah, I've gotten messages before saying, sorry you were put in the middle of that, being with both of them in a WGWF live run. I'm like, no, don't worry about it.
I just tell them it's a work, guys. It's a work. Like, it's not real. It's just not. It's fun. It's fun playing. It's fun, when you can hook the people like that, it's when you know you've done something right. I feel at this point. So if I win or lose, like, okay, cool. But like I said, did I hook you? Did you take the bait? Did you enjoy the ride? Did we tell a good story? Did the right person really go over in the story? Because not every story is meant to be one. Like, you gotta look back on it like that. But JB,
Oh, there are moments where you regret, where you're like, oh, the story would have been so much better if this person had won, but we're not an angle.
Yeah, can't control that.
Can't do anything.
I can't control. I can only control my opinion on it, and thankfully, we got a really good crew. Like I tell people all the time, even people within the Fed who DM me stuff directly. They're like, hey, I'm gonna try and do this and do this and do this, and I'm like, cool, no problem. However, I'm gonna need you to let JB know, because JB's usually formatting the shows. And if it doesn't interfere with something that's already there, then we will accommodate. If it's interfering with something else that's already there, well, then you're just going to have to hold on to it. But don't just, hey, I talked to Paige and he said, because JB's going to come right back to me and say, hey, did you talk to this guy about doing this and doing this and doing this? Because this is already here and this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I've got the best fucking guy in the best fucking position as far as in the Fed is concerned, because it definitely wouldn't be a thing without you and without Goth and without we're picking up some match riders too over in the new Discord server, so it should be smooth sailing, and I do appreciate everything that you've done. I think you got a shiny toy back there. So for those of you who are watching this that watch Wrestling Request Live, when I said that I would send you a belt, JB, when I tell somebody I'll send them a belt, do I send them a belt?
Yes, you do.
Oh, they can't see it because I've got you cropped out. So grab it real quick. Let's show off that shiny toy of yours. So for those in the WGWF, I sent this to Vaughn. I sent him and said, hey, man, what's your favorite belt? Get it right in front of the camera. Over a little bit.
Go with the...
There you go. The big gold, baby. The big gold. I told you to. Thank you. I appreciate you showing it to us. When he grabbed the belt, when I sent it to him, I said, you got to send me a picture of you when it comes in. And sure enough, like 4 or 5 days later, he's like, yep, and it fits. Yes.
It's a nice big one. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You said the big gold, so you got the big gold. Well, I know I said we were going to go an hour. We went a little bit longer than an hour. Is there anything that you want to say to whoever may be listening, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's in the Fed? Anything you want to, on the way out, talk about or plug, or right ahead?
Just, if you're into E-Fedding, give WGWF a chance. If you're into gaming, give No Game Unturned a chance. If you're Jamont, Peter Vaughn is retired, and I'm really sorry. You've got a championship right now. Just hang on to that. That's about all.
Hey, I gotcha. Again, guys, that's No Game Unturned. Go down below, check the video description. You'll see links to get yourselves over there. Hit that follow. The rush to 50 on Twitch is a real thing for No Game Unturned, so any help you could give, it would be fantastic. If you're not subscribed to this channel, shame on you, because you should be. We do all kinds of content, as you're all well aware, and I'm not going to waste my time or energy or yours going through the programming. So all that stuff will be down below in the video description. That is Jonathan Barrows. I'm Chris Page. We'll see you next time.